Please be advised, this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered health, tax, legal, or professional advice. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast.
And now, I Talk Back with Ray.
I'm telling you, I couldn't make it up if I tried.
And Mandii.
You've got to be freaking kidding me. You know what? That's all I'm saying. Hey guys, welcome back to I Talk Back with Ray and Mandii. I am Mandii.
I'm Ray.
And thank you so much for being here. So on this episode, Ray is going to chat about the new requirements for LLC reporting in 2024. There are a lot of laws that are changing, and so we kind of want to give you the juicy deets on what you should and shouldn't do so that you're prepared. So if you have your own business, if you have family that owns a business, friends that own a business, make sure that you have them tune in, share this with them so that they know the 411 because we are going to be giving you some deets.
Hey guys, thank you so much. This is obviously a topic that is near and dear to both of our hearts. One thing about I Talk Back with Ray and Mandii, of course, we love talking about relationships and relational things, but we also are business women. And so we want to make sure that whenever we have knowledge, y'all have knowledge. One of the things that I've obviously am aware of that not many people are aware of for some whatever reason is FinCEN reporting. That's going to start in 2024. So whether you have an LLC or a corporation, based on whenever it was started, these new laws and requirements that are coming out, and they're not just for Texas, they're for all states. So I do know a few of my clients personally actually have different LLC that they formed, even like before they started working with me, in different states based on how easy it was and maybe a little bit less expensive to start an LLC in a different state. So this requirement is for everyone. It's not just for Texas. So I don't want you thinking it's just for Texas or it doesn't apply to you since we're in Texas. This is for everyone. It's actually what it's coming from is I'm going to be looking at my phone a lot. I don't want to misquote anything. It's under the Corporate Transparency Act of 2021. This is not a new law, believe it or not. It's just that it gave us time to get ready and to report. The reporting begins January 2024. This does apply to new LLCs as well and corporations as well as previously started LLCs and corporations. So what it's for is, it is a federal law. And we already know what that means when we talk about federal law. If you violate this law, it is a federal crime. Keep that in mind. They do have monetary penalties applied to this, as well as prison penalties applied to this if you do not comply. This is not an option. This is a necessity. This is a requirement. Please do not get caught up unnecessarily because you didn't know. Because as far as we're concerned, you know. And if it doesn't apply to you and you know somebody else that has a business, send them a link to this episode and let them watch it for themselves. You can always reach out to us if you have any questions as well. But we're going to go into details about the law and the requirements and then the reason as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure that you're set up right. You want to make sure you're set up for success. And I know some people, when you hear things like this, it does get overwhelming. It does get intimidating because you don't really fully understand it. But that's why we're here. We're here to help you. And if it's something that you don't want to take on, guess what? You get a CPA, you get your bookkeeper, you get somebody who does understand so they can make sure that you're set up correctly, because the business structure is going to be the main thing that's going to take a lot of time to do.
Yeah.
Running the business is great. Running the business is hard work as well, but getting yourself set up, making sure everything is properly connected with the government, you definitely want to pay attention to that. So you don't want to make any mistakes for that.
Perfect. Okay, so it's called the Corporate Transparency Act. I'm going to read this to y'all so y'all get this verbatim. It's a federal law aimed at preventing money laundering that was passed in 2021. If y'all remember, that's because 2021 should ring a bell for everybody because that was kind of right in the height of COVID. Mm-hmm. What they were doing, a lot of people started having these loans and they started creating businesses in the hopes of getting this free money, because it was forgivable, which means they didn't have to pay it back. But they were not necessarily real viable businesses. So then they have this Corporate Transparency Act, and it's actually managed by the Department of Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. You'll hear me refer to them as FinCEN. So most people in my field, in like the financial world, refer to things as FinCEN. You do not want to fool with these people. I promise you that. One of the penalties, just so y'all are aware, is failure to comply. It's a felony conviction. It's a $500 daily penalty, up to $10,000 and 2 years in prison. So it's not just that it's going to be an inconvenience for you. Like, you do, like sometimes you'll have reporting requirements like, oh, I'll just pay the $50 penalty. Like for franchise tax, you just pay a $50 penalty, you get caught up, you're fine. Not with this one. With this one, you will go to prison. You will have a felony conviction and you will have a fine. So we're going to try to avoid these at all costs, right? Perfect. So under this new law, many new business owners will be required to file a beneficial owner report for the company's LLC or corporation with the FinCEN network. FinCEN will keep the information gathered from these reports in a database for authorized government authorities and financial institutions to use to prevent money laundering. The database will not be viewable by the public. So you can't go in there to check and see if it's active or did somebody apply for FinCEN. It is strictly for the financial institutions and for the federal government for beneficial ownership reasons. There's not a publicly viewable database. What do you have to file? So this is what you need to do, right? The whole purpose of all of this is to figure out, now you know why you need to do it. Now you know where you need to do it. This is about now, what do you need to do? The requirement applies for all LLCs and corporations, right? Including single member LLCs. So if you're a sole prop LLC, this applies to you too. Even though you're probably the only owner, the only member, it's a member managed, all that good stuff is great. You still have to apply for this or notify them of the beneficial ownership. There's a few expectations, and the expectations are they have to meet all of the following criteria, not just one. You have to have more than 20 employees. Most small businesses don't have 20 or more employees. So that's going to be an issue that you're going to have to deal with. Of course, you need to do it. The other one is going to be grosses more than $5 million annually. So if you are like a 3-owner employee business or one single owner, maybe 3 employees, and you gross $5 million, kudos to you. But you still have to sign up, and the reason is because you have to meet all 3 of these requirements, not just one or the other. The third one is going to be you have to maintain a physical presence at a business office in the U.S. So if you don't have 20 or more employees, if you do not gross $5 million annually, and if you do not have a business office in the U.S., you have to comply. Does everybody understand? Great. Okay. You have to file it if you have a LLC or corporation that you completed before 2024, before January 1st, 2024, you have until the end of 2024 to comply. But if you create your business, if you're like have it on the horizon and you want to start your business starting 2024, maybe that's one of your do people do those anymore? Like your New Year's resolutions? I haven't done one in years. So if people do that, and maybe that's on your horizon and your bucket list for 2024, and you want to start a new business, can anyone guess how long you have to comply if you start a business in 2024? 30 days. You only have 30 days if you start your business in 2024 to actually comply with this, to send this in. And then you also have 30 days if you have if you have a current business, if you have 30 days with any changes in ownership, you have 30 days to notify FinCEN as well. So you have to sign up And if you have any changes, this point going forward, you have to notify FinCEN that you have the changes. Okay, so 30 days. What information is required to file? So now you know when it's due, you know why you need it, you know the penalties attached to it. So what information do you need? Companies will need to provide the following information. Has everybody got their pens ready? I hope so. If not, just rewind it and then listen to it as many times. Yeah, write this down. The legal name and any trade name or DBA. So if you have your legal name, like you said, you have your LLC on file with the Secretary of State, but you have a couple of DBA names filed with the counties that operate under your LLC. You're going to have to give them all of these. Okay? You're going to need the address. And not the registered agent address, the business address. Because you should have an RA address, and it might be different than the business. It might be the same. But like we've talked about before, be mindful of putting certain physical addresses, like your home address for a business address. But if you need to talk to me about that, we can talk about that at another time.
Because that is public information.
Yes, it is. The jurisdiction in which it was formed and its taxpayer identification number. Remember, you get your taxpayer number from there's two numbers, right? You don't want to confuse your taxpayer identification number with your EIN. So your EIN is your CP 575 letter. Your taxpayer identification number is going to be with it's on file with the Secretary of State. So you need to find that paperwork, or you can go online and search business entity as well. But you want to make sure you have all that information according to you for your business. That's what you need for your business. Now, this is what you need for each owner. For each owner, you need their legal name, not what they go by, not what they like to be called, not their middle name that everybody calls them instead of the first name.
Their government name, guys.
Yeah, you need their legal name. What's on your driver's license?
What's on your social security card?
There you go. And hopefully you updated it. Your date of birth, the address, and identifying number from the driver's license, the passport, or your government issued ID. Everybody got it? So you need 4 things for each beneficial owner. You need 4 things for your actual business. And then if you do not comply, I cannot reiterate this enough. Remember, it's a $500 penalty per day. Ooh. Not like per month or per time or per occurrence. Per day that you're out of compliance. And it will max out at $10,000.
Wow.
Right? And then you can also have prison time, right? Which is a felony conviction because it's a federal law, federal mandate. You can also have prison time up to 2 years. So who wants to have a 2-year prison term and a $10,000 fine for a simple paperwork that you need to fill out?
And that on your record.
Yeah, that we're telling you what you need to do, right? So this and what's odd enough is that I feel like a lot of people are not told this for whatever reason, and a lot of people did not know. Even the people that I was talking to about this, they were like, "I have to do what?" And I'm like, "Well, who's your bookkeeper? Who's your business consultant? Who's your?" And then they're just, "Well, they haven't said anything." Well, I'm telling you, and we're telling you that you've got to be compliant with these things. This is so important. Even if you're not in Texas, even if it was not organized in Texas, you do have to list the jurisdiction of your business, which is where your business is located. But if it's not located here in Texas, let's say you started it in Chicago, or like I think Louisiana, like there's a few things that have really easy LLC terms. But no matter where it's at, you've got to do this, and depending on when you start it, is going to be when your timeline is over, countdown, or starts. So just be mindful of that. Like I said, having a business is great and it's fun and it's beneficial, but a lot of people don't want to do the paperwork behind it. They just want to do the fun stuff. But the fun stuff is great and it's fun. But the paperwork and the structure is what can get you in trouble. So we want to make sure that we have that. We pass the knowledge on to y'all. That way, so we want to avoid these types of things that are avoidable. Yeah. Because sometimes this information does not get to our community. I don't know why. I could guess. But I can assume. I can do a whole lot of things. But I figure, if I know, there's no reason for you not to know. I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't believe in like keeping information from the community and people that need to know. And so now if you need help, reach out to us. I can certainly kind of walk you through it and help you. But if not, talk to your people. Get your business associate, your business people on the line, and ask them about this, so you can go ahead and get this taken care of and complete it before it ends up being a problem for you that could have been avoided. So we welcome questions. Of course, you can always send the questions through us, and I'll get them if Amanda mainly checks it, but I'll certainly get them if it's a question that I need to answer, and then we'll reach back out to you in a timely fashion.
Yes, absolutely. And I think all of this is super helpful because, like Ray said, the info that we have, this is why we're here. We want to share it. We want to make sure that everybody's informed because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And so we want to make sure that you have everything that you need so that you can make these informed decisions and move forward and be successful. Because like Ray said, it's building the business and laying out your blueprint for it is fun and it sounds great, but you have to make sure you incorporate properly, whatever that looks like. If you're going to be an LLC, if you're going to be an S Corp, if you're going to be a C Corp, whatever you decide to structure your business as, you want to make sure that you have everything structured and registered the proper way. You fill out everything you need to fill out. You get everything done that needs to be done in order for your business to be legit.
Perfect. And then too, this might be a good time for you to maybe clean house. I don't mean fire people or get rid of people. What I mean is, if you have those LLCs that are sitting around that you don't do anything with, or you thought it was a good idea to have it and now you don't need it, and then you have all these now reporting requirements, because it's just gonna get a little bit worse, guys. To be honest, they're going to start requiring more. So if you have these things around and you don't need them and don't want them, like I said, you go ahead and maybe do the paperwork and do the form to go ahead and term your business, so you don't have to worry about these reporting requirements. Or maybe focus on one, if that's whatever it is, your business plan calls for. Certainly, maybe start, getting your paperwork in order, cleaning house, figuring out what's best for you, your family, your business, and then where you look, where you want to go towards in the future as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can only focus on a certain amount of things, right? So if you're not the one running it, maybe you have somebody else that can help you. But if you have too many, just don't overfill your plate, is what I'm saying. Because
it's not hard to do, and people just think, oh yeah, I'll just do it. Like a lot of the people that call me for consulting and stuff, it's that they did it and they didn't want to do the work to keep it. And so they're like, oh, I haven't done my taxes in 5 years, or I haven't filed a franchise, and I have a notice that I gave up my business. And I'm like, well, let's meet and let's talk about this. So just be mindful of it. Like, having a business is great, but there's also responsibilities attached to it. We don't want to see y'all not have the knowledge. If we have it, there's no point of y'all not knowing if we know. So if you have any questions, like I said, any questions, please reach out. Let us know. Please pass this on to any family and friends that you know of that have businesses that maybe they don't know. Just let them know, hey, I saw a great podcast episode,
wink,
about business. And I think it would be beneficial for you to listen to this as well. So
yes, absolutely. And you can only fly under the radar for so long. So even if you do have things that you haven't done in the past years, you can always clean them up. Yes, it will come with fees associated with it. Yes, because you haven't filed, the government will get their money from you.
One way or the other.
Interest, fees, everything will stack up. So your little $1,500 payment is going to end up being $3,000 now, because guess
they're getting that COVID money back. I'm just playing. Go on.
Hey, you ain't lying. Look, Ray and I met with somebody before who said that their partner took out a PPE loan. Was it PPP loan? The PPE loan. Don't know what they did with that PPE loan, and now guess what?
They're responsible.
They're responsible for it because they were married to this person who took out the loan and don't know if they used it for the business or not, because they were so easy to access. But guess what? Time's now to pay the piper.
Rooster is coming home.
Yeah, so just be mindful. That's why Ray and I talk about all the time. Be mindful who you're partnering with when you go into business. Be mindful that both of you are on the same wavelengths, that your missions are the same, because if you're going to end up having issues, it is going to come down to the financial part and the structure part. So, just be mindful, guys.
This has been a informative episode, I will say. It's short. It's going to be shorter than the other one. But like I said, it's important. It was important to us to get this information out before the beginning of the year. Yeah. So we wanted to kind of just throw this in here for our December episodes. But it's short, but it's just as important. And so, like I said, if y'all need assistance, please reach out. If we can't help you, because we don't do everything, and we can't help you, we certainly know who can. So it's been great. I love these episodes. I love information. Because at the end of the day, it's just sad that we just don't get told these things. It's just not common knowledge. And, a lot of the circles that we are in don't even know. So now you know. Your new favorite duo is telling you. So there's no excuse. No excuse. No excuse.
But yeah, reach out to us, ask us questions. We're always happy to help. Leave your comments, whichever media you're watching us on. Leave the comments, whatever you're listening to us. Leave a comment. I check all of them all the time. So if there's any questions in there that Rae needs to be aware of, I will send them to her and get those questions answered. But that's what we're here for. That's what we created this for. We're here to help.
Yeah. Open conversations, dialogue. It's just, this is awesome. I love it. I'm glad we have this platform. And if y'all need anything else, please reach out. It's been a pleasure. Thank y'all.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning into I Talk Back with Rae and Mandii. Please hit the like and subscribe button to stay updated on future podcasts.